Right. So I hope you had a chance to go around and look at other people's designs and the ideas that they sketched out. Obviously, we're not going to come up with a specification. The point is not to come up with a specification from this activity. The point is to make out of your head into the real world, to move it from in here to out there, to support collaboration, creativity, decision-making. And I think we've done that, otherwise we wouldn't have got so animated and excited in merely 20 minutes or so. I've used this with teams in really long sessions, much longer, and got some very interesting and creative ideas generated, which eventually led into implementations in user interfaces. And ultimately, the user interface for the MOOC is the key touch point, the key interaction point that the learners are going to be using. So it's actually quite critical to get it right. And when I was at the Coursera, when I was doing the Coursera MOOC most recently, it was really underscored for me how important that designed experience is, and how important it is to make certain that the interactions that the learners engage in are right, are designed correctly and properly, because they were, for the most part, designed properly and supported the kind of learning that I would think would be useful to the people who are going to be on our course. So we won't waste much more time, but there are points where you can get stuck in this process, and I think the main thing to do is encourage people to try to draw things out. It can be very easy to get stuck on just talking and the words and discussing ideas, and if you don't have them in pictures, then that's a problem. Dynamic displays are hard to represent, so some display that changes based on the user input, you end up with storyboards and multiple different sketches and drawings, and so that's can be challenging to represent, particularly like with analytics or data that's rapidly changing based on input. The last thing I would say is that these sketches are very useful for hashing out these ideas, for exploring them, for opening up the design discourse, but they're temporary and transient. If you come back to these tomorrow, you won't be able to reconstruct what the discussion was, and that's why it's useful to have some kind of recording. Okay, so there's much more to it, but I hope you got a flavor for it, and maybe we can incorporate it in the MOOCs in some way. It could be useful.